Welcome to Mystics of Taropy. I use tarot and oracle cards healing therapy for myself and the collective. So today we are going to ask Spirit, what signs will you receive from the universe when you're about to meet or come into union with your future spouse? So a little while ago I did say that I wanted to make a series surrounding your future spouse, so how you might meet them, their personality, how you guys come into union, the first few stages of your connection. So I actually haven't planned out how many episodes I'm going to make, but I'll do whatever feels right, and if you guys have any recommendations around this series, please let me know, and I'll definitely take that into consideration. Before we get into the piles and do this exciting reading, I want to thank you guys for being here, taking time out for a little bit of Taropy. That's what I like to call it. If you're new to this channel, I use the word Taropy because I think tarot is a form of therapy. It is certainly to me. So you taking time out in whatever sense you call it, it could be entertainment for you, but it is therapy. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you to all the subscribers and everyone that is a part of this family. Thank you for your support and encouragement all along this time that we've been together. Alright, so let's get into your piles. Today we have crystals here. I am going to use the Voyager Tarot just because this deck has a lot of imagery, and I am going to be reading your cards in terms of my intuitive messages, not really the meaning of the cards. So I always use intuitive messages, but I'm going to use the imagery a lot for this reading. So yeah, let's get into your piles. Pile number 1 is this Amethyst slab. Pile number 2 is Lemurian Quartz. And pile number 3 is Sardonyx. So use your intuition, take your time, and pick your pile, and I will catch you in your reading. Hi group number 1, this is for those of you that chose the Amethyst slab as your group. Today we are asking Spirit, what signs may you receive from the universe when you're about to come into contact with your future spouse? Just a quick note before we get into your reading, I actually forgot to tell this in the intro part. If you guys are interested in a personal reading, please email me. I have actually got a few emails asking if I do personal readings. I definitely do personal readings. It's just that I don't post any of my rates or the type of readings that I offer on my YouTube page because it tends to change depending on how busy I am. So please email me, get in touch in any way, Instagram, whatever, and I will let you know what I offer at that time. Alright, so let's get into your reading. I'm going to start with the tarot today. I'm going to be using the Voyager Tarot, and then we'll clarify with some oracle cards that we have, or get some extra messages about what signs you might see. Alright, so just give me a moment as I get the cards out for you. Alright, pile number 1, I've got your cards. You have the 2 of Worlds, 6 of Crystals, 10 of Worlds, 4 of Crystals, and the 5 of Crystals as your bottom deck energy. Worlds in this case is Pentacles, and Crystals is Swords. So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and Cancer. Oh, why was I going to say the water signs? Okay, maybe some of you are Cancer. But you have Pentacle energy, which is Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. So I'm going to read the cards by its image, not by the meaning necessarily. But in this case, I'm very drawn to this 10 of Worlds card. So I feel that some of you might have an increase in your finances, or something in your finances changes to the positive. you guys might be doing really well financially. It might come at a time that you change career, or it's just a promotion or something along those lines, or if you're or doing your own business, like you are successful, you're sort of really happy in terms of how you're doing financially and materialistically. It's very interesting because at the edge of this card you actually see a couple at the beach during the sunset. So this whole entire card has a lot of like coins, trophies. So it's about true achievement. So it's like you will feel a sense of achievement, whatever it is that you're working on, creatively speaking, financially speaking. There is some sort of abundance that's coming your way, and with this it is a good indication that you've found that stability within yourself, and therefore the universe is ready for you to meet your person, essentially. Because I think there is an underlying message here with this pile about you sort of finding yourself before you come into contact with your future spouse. And there is also a very heavy message about moon cycles. So you might be someone that follows moon cycles or very drawn to the moon. So I would say keep doing that. If you're curious about the moon cycles, or just astrology or whatever, you might get into that a lot more when you're about to meet your future spouse. You might be the kind of person that tells your friend, oh, it's a full moon in Virgo season, this is what's gonna happen, blah blah blah. So you might have an extensive knowledge on that, or you might get into it, and this is a sign that you're sort of coming into contact with your future spouse. You'll feel really connected, especially at night time. You'll feel connected to spirit, to whatever deity or whatever higher entity that you believe in. Even if you don't, there is some sort of connection to nighttime, or maybe you find the nighttime to be really calming and just a time of reflection, like this card says reflection. So a sense of calm at night. So maybe before that you have some sort of anxieties or some sort of like insecurities that you're working on, and sometimes at night you think about these things. I mean, most people do, but you're going to be in a state where you have sort of released some of those insecurities. You're sort of happy in your own skin, and there's a sense of calmness, especially at night, where you're sort of really appreciative of what you have, and that you're ready. Essentially what I see you doing is you're telling your guides that you're really happy and grateful for what you have, and you're ready to have more. And I think that's when you might come into contact with your future spouse. You're definitely moving on from some phase with this Six of Crystals here. Let me look at this card a bit more clearly. There's a lot of crystals in this card actually, so definitely a more spiritual pile, I feel, because you're connecting with the moon. There is a lot of crystal imagery here, and yeah, it's like you're getting all these intuitive messages, but you're sort of working on yourself. I don't see you like waiting on anyone. I just see you like working on yourself, and you're trying to find ways to make you feel good. And it might be crystals, it might be astrology, definitely like anything esoteric. Might be something that you'll get into, or you're slowly starting to get into, which might be a sign that you're actually coming into contact with your future spouse sooner than you think, if you're already in that stage. What else? I am seeing some sort of a brick wall. So foundations. So some sort of foundation is laid. I don't know what that means for you, whether you're going to travel or not travels, relocate or something along those lines, but some sort of foundation is created before you come into contact with your person. Yeah, I'm seeing the Grand Canyon. And a lot of hexagons. So you might see, not hexagons, sorry, pentagons. You might start seeing shapes. You might be drawn to things that have a pentagon shape. Necklaces, again, the pentagon is again something to do with like spirituality. So this might very well be a very spiritual pile. You guys will get closer to your spirituality, sorry guys, when you're about to meet your future spouse. I mean, that's sort of clear because you picked amethyst, and amethyst itself is a crystal that brings you closer to your spirit guides. So there is definitely this sense of being more spiritual when you're about to meet your future spouse. Anything else from these cards? No, I'm drawn to this massive apple here. So that usually the apple, I see the apple as a sign of sexuality. So maybe you're working on that, seeing yourself in a more sexual light, understanding your sexuality, your sensuality, being comfortable in your sexuality. Those are some of the changes that you'll see in yourself when you're about to meet your future spouse. So let's look at your oracle cards. You have a personal issue reaches resolution, full moon in Cancer. So I did say Cancer before, so some of you might be Cancer. Again, I'm hearing this message with the moon, so I'm sure you probably know more than me when full moon in Cancer is. So look at these periods because they might mean something. And then you have surrender to the divine, full moon. So full moon is very important here. Like I said, this might be a time that you feel like super energized. You might feel really attractive around the time of a full moon. So you might put yourself out there more, or you might meet a lot of people during a period of a full moon, which is potentially how you might meet your future spouse. You're not going to get into how you might meet, but this is, I'm talking in terms of time periods. So there is a time of reflection before you meet your future spouse. So maybe you're not in a connection for a while, and you're sort of working on yourself, pile number one. And there's a need to be calm, and there's a need to take things slow. That's what I get when I think of Cancer energy. It's very caring, loving, nurturing to yourself. So, and I'm hearing teaching. I don't know whether you'll be teaching something, whether you're going to be in a teaching profession or something along those lines of teaching. Maybe you're learning something new, a new skill. Again, learning something to do with spirituality. Maybe you're, maybe you'll have a side hustle, some of you. It sort of plays into this rewards card because there is some financial gain around this period. You have break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. And protection, call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. Again, very strong moon imagery in both these cards. There is a decision that you will make about breaking certain patterns, how you approach the idea of love, relationships, healing, all of that. Like there is a change in you. you're sort of right. I feel like you're going to do something different to something that you've always done. It could be in terms of like family as well. For example, your lifestyle and the way that you've lived with your family, or the way that you interact with your family, has been a certain way for the longest time, and then just before you meet your future spouse, your connection with one of your parents or something like that deepens. Maybe you weren't very close with your family members, but there is this like deepening with a connection with your one family member. I don't know who it is. Could be an aunt, somebody, a sibling, that's going to get really close to you. Okay, we have illumination and forgiveness. Again, that moon imagery. I want to look at this card a bit more. You could potentially meet your person during the winter time, or a very cold time wherever you are, during a colder season. I'm also hearing meditation. That is something that you might get into before you meet your future spouse. These are all like small signs. I'm not, obviously, if you're spiritual, you might see signs like number signs or names or shapes, those sort of things. But I'm trying to pick out small things that, or small changes that might make a big difference for you as a person. So forgiveness here is important. I think this might be in terms of your past relationships. I see you like fully moving on from certain situations. That comes with this period of reflection. And then we have Commander Ashta, call to action, take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So you'll make a decision, like I said before, to put yourself out there. And I'm not a big fan of that phrase, put yourself out there, because what does that really mean? Because, you know, we're all trying in every small way, in our own way, to put ourselves out there. So when people say you should really put yourself out there, it's like, it's not like we haven't tried. But I do get the sense that you're a lot more active in your search for, you know, companionship. I think pile number 1, that's how you see this. Some of you may not be even comfortable with the idea of marriage. So what you're looking for is companionship. And I think you're certainly in a mindset to pursue it at this time, because I think you've taken out time to work on yourself before this, so now it feels natural and it feels comfortable. You're not like forcing it on yourself, but it's also like you're ready and you know you're ready, and you are asking for it, you're manifesting it in the way that you communicate to your higher self or your spirit guides and your guardian angels. So you have intuition and downloads. This is what I was feeling before. And I'm happy to see this card because it clarifies that to me. Definitely you are getting intuitive downloads from your guides, so you will be called to take certain action in this case, and it says call to action. You are guided in a very specific way. You will be given very specific signs from your guides, and it will be different for each and every one of you. But do remember that this will be heightened during the period of a full moon, potentially full moon in Cancer. And then you have make a vision board, number 33. So yeah, you are working on yourself, you're being victorious, successful, you have a goal, you have a plan, you're in a really good energy. Some of you might get a tattoo. That's what I'm seeing. Some of you might get a new tattoo when you're about to meet your future spouse, something that's very meaningful to you, something that could have to do with your journey in life so far. something that is going to be really important to you. So yeah, some of you might get a tattoo. Yeah, meditation, yoga, all of that sort of thing is really going to help you. And in this picture, she's written some notes to herself or words of aspiration, and it says, I am healthy, I believe in me, be an inspiration, listen to your heart. And it also has the High Priestess card in it. So your intuition is going to play a big role in knowing when you're about to meet your future spouse. You might even have an inner feeling about, I'm going to meet someone significant to my life. Yeah. So the final two cards are some advice for you regarding this situation, or you could take it as advice for you now, yeah, at this time. So you have number 59, the Temple, and number 28, Sacred Convergence. So I am going to read the message from these cards because I think the book will explain it much better than I would. But number 59, this oracle brings guidance to take time out to smell the flowers, savor the pleasures of life, and renew your connection to the inner lover. Your sensuality wants to come out and play. You are encouraged to explore scent, touch, taste, and feeling. You are encouraged to play with color. What moves you? What brings you into connection with yourself in this moment again? It is the wholeness of divine self-connection in sacred space that will best nourish you now. So yeah, I did say before with that apple imagery that there is some connection to your sexuality or sensuality, and this is something that you're going to tap into, and you become more comfortable with, or you learn something new about yourself, or you know what you want, like something along those lines. And then number 28, Sacred Convergence. This oracle holds a message for you. A deeper part of yourself is calling you forward. Any discontent, struggle, anxiety, or fear is a subconscious recognition of this. Don't worry, you are a unique plant in the divine garden. You don't have to know what plant you are in order to grow. You just need to live each day, and the growth happens naturally. Then you can see over time the beauty of your true nature revealing itself to you. It will be a revelation to be relished. Yeah, so definitely working on yourself, finding out things about yourself that you didn't know. Like I said, I was definitely feeling that you were going to get close to someone, a family member or somebody, maybe even a friend that feels like a family member, before your future spouse comes in, because this shows how much you care, how much you are able to give, how much your perspective on certain things have also changed. So you really, whatever that has been causing anxiety in the past, you want to put that behind you, because you're a different person essentially. Group number one, you might be currently going through this, or you can feel that you're sort of like embarking on that journey. You might be at any stage of this journey. So I wish you guys all the very best in that, and I wish you guys all the very best in creating that connection with your future spouse. And I hope this message resonated with you guys. Let me know in the comment section below. Yeah, and hopefully this series will be helpful to you guys in trying to recognize who your future spouse might be when they come into your life. So until I catch you in another reading, pile number 1, stay safe and bye. Hello group number 2, this is for those of you that chose Lemurian Quartz as your group. Today we are asking Spirit, what signs may you receive from the universe when you're about to come into contact with your future spouse? So like I said before in the intro, this is episode 1 of a series that I want to make surrounding your future spouse. So hold on tight for more episodes to come. And also a quick message before I get into the reading is Some of you guys have been contacting me and asking if I do personal readings. I just want to assure you guys I am open for personal readings at this time. I don't post what kind of readings I offer and the cost on my YouTube page because it tends to change depending on how much of time I have to create, because it takes a lot of energy, and I'm sort of like in the middle of like still adjusting to the relocation and new work opportunities. So I just don't want to put wrong information on the YouTube page. So definitely get in touch with me if you are wanting a personal reading, and I will get back to you as soon as possible with my rates and what kind of readings I offer. Alright, with that being said, let's get into your reading. I already have some pre-shuffled oracle cards, and I'm going to be using the Voyager Tarot today to get some messages, and I'm going to be using the imagery mainly to get some intuitive messages about some signs that you might see. So just give me a moment as I get some cards out for you. Alright, group number 2, I have your cards, and it is the Universe or the World card to begin with. Ace of Cups, the Chariot. Sage of Cups is the Page of Cups, and the Five of Worlds, which is the Five of Pentacles, as your bottom deck energy. So heavy water energy here with Cancer especially, but we have Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio, and then because we have Pentacle energy as your bottom deck, it could be Capricorn, Virgo and Taurus. I'm loving the energy from this group actually, because I feel like you are going to go through some sort of transformation before you come into contact with your person, and this to me is mainly about loving yourself, and I'm sure you've heard this message several times, file number 2, but this is truly, I feel like you could have some sort of like physical transformation. Some of you I'm hearing like corrective surgery, so I don't know if there was something that you were wanting to work on for the longest time. You want to get some surgery or something. Yeah, I see you sort of like working on that, and maybe your physical health. Yeah, some of you, I feel like you have been the sort of person who doesn't really pay attention to trends and styles, but this is something that you're going to get into around about the time that you meet your future spouse. Like you might have a sudden interest in fashion, or just it could be anything, literally. It could be just textiles, or I'm seeing something like that. Alright, let's start with the first card. I am immediately drawn to this pink moon. So this might happen around the time of a pink moon, and for some reason I'm hearing Sagittarius. So I don't know if there's a relevance between the pink moon and Sagittarius, but you guys look into that. Okay, and okay, I'm getting a message about some of you getting closer to your faith. Yeah, closer to your faith. It could be anything: spirituality, religion, a way of life, like for example Buddhism, a philosophy, whatever it is that you believe in. I see you getting closer to that. And there's a lot of water imagery in all of these cards. I mean, they are water cards. So your emotions are, I feel they're going to be quite stable, because in all of these images it looks like deep water. It's slow moving water. So I feel that you're going to be in a very emotionally stable place when you're about to meet your future spouse. You might have a sudden interest or be wanting to travel to Egypt around about this time. Um, Pay attention to birds, I would say. Birds have something to do with your, it could be a potential sign. Maybe that sort of like stems from like Egyptian culture as well. I don't know what it is, but I'm getting some sort of correlation between birds and Egyptian culture. So look into that. And also full moons. Full moon time might be very important to your connection. And what else am I seeing? Yeah, there's another bird in this card as well. And then you see all of this water. So I feel like here you have like a waterfall. I think that looks like a waterfall. So maybe currently you are in a state of, your emotions are all over the place, or that you don't know where you stand, or you're a little unsure. You haven't been able to ground yourself in a love connection. And I see yourself sort of like this transformation that I'm seeing is that you don't need a connection to ground yourself in a love connection. This is about like working on yourself, and for some of you I want to say that this can happen like I'm hearing that some of you could be in this marriage in another 2 years. I don't know where that came from, but that was a random message. But I'm hearing that some of you can be married in 2 years. Then you have the Five of Worlds. I'm hearing that some of you feel currently a little left out. I don't know what I mean by left out. In this case, I do get the sense that maybe everyone around you are in connections or just coupled up, and you feel like you're not getting that. Even though you want it so badly, it hasn't come back to you. And I feel like you've been experiencing quite a few setbacks in this case. It could be that timing is never right in your past connections. And you're sort of, the sign here will be that when you meet your future spouse, everything sort of tends to fall into place for you. Because previously, in previous connections, you would have felt that there were a lot of obstacles, or there was like so much to overcome, challenges. But with your future spouse, one main sign is that everything tends to fall into place for you guys. If you guys are a long distance, someone might be offered a job close to where the other person lives, and that makes things easier for you guys. Or it could be anything. That was an example. But things will tend to fall into place for you guys. Yeah, because underneath that I had Devil's Play, which is a Devil's card, and the Hierophant card. In this case, I'm actually looking at the Devil's card in terms of like the Hierophant card, it's some sort of commitment for some reason. That's the energy that I get. It's like you will be really drawn to your future spouse from the beginning. Like the moment you meet them, you will know that this is your person. It could mean that your future spouse is Capricorn as well, or Taurus, heavy earth energy. Yeah, and in this card as well, you have the Buddha statue, and it's obviously a card about higher learning and spirituality. So yeah, definitely moving closer and closer to your faith is a sign that you're coming into union with your future spouse. Let's look at your oracle cards. Because these cards, like I'm reading them intuitively, I'm not really reading the meaning of the card. So it's taking me a bit more time to get the messages out, so please bear with me today. We have, oh my gosh, look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius, and it is a pink moon in the here as well, which is what we have here in this card. So look at the bigger picture here, guys. I think Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius energy is adventurous, spontaneous, takes risk, but is also quite philosophical. So there is a need to step back, review yourself, be content in yourself before your future spouse comes in. And I feel like your future spouse is also going to go through the same thing, because I get a lot of like mirroring energy between the two of you. I don't think you guys are in contact. This pile, I'd be really interested to know if you guys have met each other or you are currently married, and this sort of confirms the message to you. But I feel that for most of you, or the majority, haven't met their future spouse, and for some reason the 2-year mark from now, so 2 years from now in April, April, May I'm getting, you might be actually married to this person, which means that you might come into contact with your future spouse quite soon. And maybe, I was gonna say that maybe your dating phase will be short, and you guys will be in a commitment pretty soon. It doesn't have to be marriage, but there is some sort of commitment to each other. Alright, next card. Don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo. So heavy fire energy here. So we have Leo. So I'm getting that your person might be a combination of fire and earth. So there is a need to let go of pride. Sometimes when I get this card, I do get the sense that you would also, there's a chance that you would also have to approach this person, because I feel that you've sort of worked on yourself, and whatever issues or insecurities that you've had, that you feel confident enough to approach someone. And that's the energy that I get from this Leo card here. So I'm already feeling some of you would say like, oh, I would never ask anyone out, or it's not my style. But I feel that sometimes you feel called to do it, and it feels natural. It can take you a whole lot of time to get to that state, but there is a possibility that you might get the ball running with your person. Yeah. You have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. Okay. And no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. Okay, very interesting card. What I'm hearing is you're gonna say no to all the, for the lack of another word, bullshit in your life. Anybody that doesn't fit, doesn't feel right, is only dragging you down, you're gonna cut them off. Clear Queen of Swords energy. You have no time to waste. You know what you want at this time. You've worked on yourself, you've worked on your confidence, you've worked on your physical health, feeling confident enough to date or whatever it is that you're working on, and you don't want people dragging you down. So if there's people around you, negative energies, I see you stepping away from all of that. And then you have this card, the Great Gathering. It's all coming together, intuitive hits. So like I said before, there is some sort of calling to you to take necessary action, and your spirit guides are going to guide you all the way through. It's like you're in the center here, and I think most of you have a lot of spirit guides, or maybe even ancestors who are watching over you and guiding you and protecting you at this time. So I think if you guys are currently in connections or have recently been in connections that felt toxic, your spirit guides are sort of encouraging you to step away from those connections, because something like much better, like your future spouse, is on its way and sooner than you think. And because of that, because you have 2 fire cards as well, and fire is like passion, and even in one of these cards over here, I saw fire. So this means that there is something that's going to happen very soon for you, and Spirit is encouraging you to step back and clear out any negative energy or negative people that are around you. I have power, and that's, oh my goodness, that's 2 cards with lightning imagery. So it's going to, like I said, I think I said before, when you meet them, you will know. It feels like, it could be like one of those love at first sight moments, even though I personally don't know if I believe in that yet. But it's this feeling like thunder has struck, that you're going to feel the rumbles inside of an intense connection or an intense crush. I mean, you have the Ace of Cups here, which is, and it says ecstasy. So it's an opportunity given, like any ace, it's an opportunity given by the universe. So when you meet this person, you will know inside of you, it just feels right. And it's very powerful for you and your future spouse. And then you have flexibility. Like I said before, things are going to fall into place for you guys. There is this need to be flexible with each other's lifestyles, coming together with any connection. I think that's there, but then it's going to be much easier for you to sort things out with this person. I'm hearing autumn for some of you, so you might come into contact with your person during autumn. Okay, and then we have inner child healing. That is something that might be a sign when you feel like you've done some inner child healing. That might be a sign that you're coming into contact. The inner child healing could be with respect to what I said before of you working on yourself. So that is a very good sign that you are coming into contact with your person. And then you have Saint Germain, karma releasing. Move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. Okay, I think this card clarifies what we said before as well about keeping your energy clear and clean. Write a gratitude list, number 55. Number 5 might be very significant to your connection. And then finally you have this Towering Magnificence card as your advice card in this case. So we will read the message from that card. Yeah, just with this gratitude card, I see you making lists for yourself. You know what to be grateful for, and therefore you're ready to receive more into your life. So let's look at the message from this Towering Magnificence card. This oracle brings you comfort that your inner path you're opening up to direct experience of the divine presence is happening now, according to divine timing and grace. This is also confirmation that you are connecting with your spiritual guidance more consciously now, and that any sense of self that appears to be falling away from you now is because your divinity has outgrown it, and new awareness is taking its place. So yeah, you are working on yourself, you are connecting with your guides more often, you are understanding what it is like to be truly authentic, and be comfortable in your own skin. You are grateful for this, and as in, you know what you want. You know what you want, and you are about to cut or release any negative energy that's in your space right now. And I would look out for connections with birds, and in the autumn season, yeah, and the moon cycles are important to your connection. Alright, pile number 2, I'm going to leave it there for you guys. I know today's reading, I was like taking time getting the messages out because I'm trying to read these cards more on its imagery than the meaning of the cards itself. So let me know if it resonates with you in any way, shape or form. And until I catch you in another reading, stay safe and bye. Hey group number 3, this is for those of you that chose Sardonyx as your group. Today we are asking Spirit, what signs will you receive from the universe when you're about to come into contact with your future spouse? So like I said in the intro, this is episode 1 of a series that I'm doing about your future spouse. So hang on tight for further readings. And also something else I want to tell you before we get into the reading is a lot of you have got in touch asking if I do personal readings, and I want to clarify and say yes, I am open for personal readings at this time. I just don't post anything about the kind of readings that I offer or the rates at which I do them on my YouTube page, because it tends to change depending on the availability, yeah, I'm still like adjusting to the move as well as new work opportunities, so I'm taking longer than usual to get back with the reading. So but please get in touch because I am open to personal readings and I will reply as soon as possible. Alright, with that being said, let's get into your reading. We are going to start out with the tarot, and we have Voyager Tarot today, and then we'll clarify with some pre-shuffled oracle cards. I am going to be reading these messages more intuitively with the imagery in the cards rather than the meaning of the cards itself, so it might take me longer than usual to get the messages out because I need to look at them more closely. So alright, let me get the cards out for you, so just give me a moment. Alright, group number 3, I have your cards. We have the World card to begin with, Hanged Man, Judgment, the Fool, and 7 of Cups as your bottom deck energy. So very interesting, pile number 3. You have all major arcana on the board, and also you are starting with the last card and ending with the first card of the major arcana. So that's pretty interesting to me as well. Something about going full circle sounds right to me. So does this mean that some of you, it's possible that you met your future spouse? But it's not for all, I feel. Like probably 60% of you have met someone that could potentially be your future spouse. Yeah, and also in terms of zodiac, I am seeing Aquarius energy, Aries energy, Pisces energy, Libra, and well, all water signs, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But it could be anything, don't limit it to that, but those are the energies that I'm seeing at this time. Let's start with the first card. This card did come up for group number 2 as well. What am I seeing here? Okay, I keep hearing the word patience, so I don't know what that means in terms of a sign. Okay, I am getting a message about you being closer. Wait. You get in touch with nature way more often than you are currently when you're closer to meeting your future spouse. For some of you, I feel you doing some sort of activity. So this could be like some sort of hobby that you've been wanting to get into for the longest time, and you finally make a choice or a decision to get into doing this thing. And for some of you, I'm hearing that you could actually meet your future spouse through this process of getting into what you want to do. Okay, I'm actually getting a message. I know this is not about how you're going to meet your future spouse, but I'm actually getting a message about you picking a career in something that you've always, or changing careers and doing something you always want to do, or doing some hobby, or for example, you want to do sewing or something along those lines. And then you might meet your future spouse at one of these places. I also see you coming closer to a group of people, like some sort of community that makes you feel really welcome and at home. So like a tribe of people that feels right to you, like it's your people, coming into contact with them. So it could be in terms of friends, like you have a new group of friends that you make, and they very quickly become really close to you, almost like family. And that is a sign that you are coming into contact with your person. You also seem to have a connection to birds. That was there in pile number 2 as well. But in all of these cards, I'm seeing birds. So pay attention to that. I don't know if that is one of your interests as well. I'm also hearing something to do with gardening and plants. So maybe that's something you enjoy, like you have a lot of plants, or this is something that you'll get into a lot when you're about to meet your future spouse. Okay. There is obviously, well, I think in most of the, most groups, most of you will see like number patterns, shapes, something that stands out to you, like repeating numbers or songs or something like that. But I am trying to pinpoint like other specific things that you might see or experience when you're about to come into contact. Okay. I'm hearing that some of you might get into some sort of volunteer work. These are so random, very random messages for group number 3. But some of you might get into some sort of volunteer work, go to volunteer centers. You might, so I feel like all of these things that you're doing are actually things to make you feel good, to make you feel grounded. So I think this is the sort of, that's like the main sign of you coming into contact with your future spouse, is that you're actually grounding yourself and you're doing things to show your gratitude for everything that you have. Because to be able to volunteer, to be able to do all these things, you have so much to give inside of you, that I think the universe is sort of like recognizing it's time for you to receive something major in your life as well. There is a energy about freedom here, feeling free, feeling like you can do anything in the world. And it's not even about like finances or anything. It's just how you generally feel about yourself. You feel free and you feel good. Some of you might be quite single for quite a long time before you meet your future spouse. So, but it's not like bothering you. Like it's not like you feel like everyone is around you is in a connection and that you don't have it and something lacking, you're definitely not in a lack mentality. You're quite free, you're quite content where you are, and you're actually able to give more to your community. You want to go meet people, you want to experience new things, and you know, like I said, like even like volunteer work. You have so much to give at this time. Don't look at this card again. There is something about clocks here. So again, it could be that message of you seeing repeating numbers, because I'm seeing a clock. And you have Seven of Cups at the bottom, which suggests that in the past there has been some sort of fear surrounding relationships, some sort of anxiety, I would say, instead of fear. Maybe even feeling trapped in certain connections, just because it felt right at the time, but in the long term you weren't happy in them, or again feeling trapped. So with this Seven of Cups here, I do get the sense that you will feel like you have options at this time when you're about to meet your future spouse, because Seven of Cups is a card about options. You could also be dreaming about certain things, or you might actually feel from in your dreams that you're about to come into contact with your future spouse. So it's a very dreamy, like almost like fantasy sort of situation. You might actually get intuitive messages through your dreams about you coming into contact with your future spouse. So let's look at your oracle cards. We have adjustments are required, third quarter moon. That might be when you might meet them during a third quarter moon. Spirit is indicating that adjustments are required from your side, but I feel like you are sort of working on it right now. Like I said, I see you being single for some time before you come into contact. You might be dating people, but I don't see you in commitments. So you're sort of working on yourself, and you realize that certain adjustments have to be made. This could be in terms of your like confidence as well. That's why you're trying to meet new people. You know, you want, I'm getting this energy of like somebody wanting to make new friends that have had like all these different experiences. You want to be able to talk about life and travel and all of that sort of thing. Yeah. And then you have, it's time to release negativity, full moon in Scorpio. So you or your future spouse could be Scorpio. Full moon is also a time that is potent. It's time to release negativity. Yeah. This message came up in all three piles. So it's very clear here that Spirit is trying to take away any negative energy away from you, any toxic energy away from you, before they offer you this new solid energy into your life. We have Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts and past lives. Oh, okay. So I feel like you could have been in karmic connections in the past. People that you had to come into contact with because there were certain lessons that you had to learn from them. There were contracts made, but you will be releasing all of this before you meet your future spouse. There is something about like with this releasing soul patterns. Again, there are certain patterns that you fall into about how you see dating and relationships. These things might change when you're about to meet your future spouse. There is a message that Spirit is trying to tell me. You need to be open. I don't like telling that out loud, but that is what Spirit is saying. You need to be open when this person comes in. And I think you're going to be working on that before you meet your future spouse. That could be a sign, because in the past maybe you don't open up to people in connections. And here Spirit is saying that one of the signs, and something that you'll notice, is you feel free to speak to people in a dating sphere. You're okay to open up about your family or experiences that you've gone through, whereas in the past you've always been the person to listen. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from that card. And then you have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So nourish yourself. You are going to be taking care of yourself during this time. And this could be even like things like in terms of a diet, you're not so strict on it anymore. You know, it's that energy of like, okay, like I am happy to have this donut and another donut if I want to, because I just feel like it. I'm free to do it. I'm an adult. I am happy. I don't care about this giving me like another 1,000 calories or whatever it is. I don't know what I'm saying at this point, but I do get the sense that you're happy, in the sense that, you know, you want to live your life. You have pleasure and happiness. Wow. All right, pile number 3. Yeah, so like it's just the same energy that I get from these cards. It's being clarified to me at this point. You're in a very good space when you're about to meet your future spouse. I feel like in the past few piles, they're still sort of like working through this when they're about to meet their future spouse. I feel like you've done like a full 180 by the time you meet your future spouse. You're very, very comfortable in your own skin. And that's why you have all these major arcana, because you've worked through them. And you'll be very happy. You might see imagery of dolphins and deers. So pay attention to animals at this time. Yeah, a lot of dolphin imagery. I have self-acceptance. Yep, this is exactly what I said before. Yeah, feeling very comfortable in yourself. You truly like love yourself at this time. I mean, this is amazing energy. Like, I want to be in this energy, but it's this like, yeah, I'm fine. Like I know what I'm doing, and I'm happy, and I'm able to take risk. And if I want to travel, I can travel. I'm not looking for anything right now, but I wouldn't disregard it. If someone was to come into my life, I'd be open. Like that's the sort of energy that you're in. You are fine either way. We have charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. So if this is something you want to manifest into your life, Spirit is saying go ahead, ask. Be like, I see you being grateful for what you already have, so you are okay to ask for what you want. You know, be specific about what you want to manifest, what kind of person you want to manifest into your life. Make a list or do something that's going to help you manifest your person sooner. You have sound healing and beauty ritual. Lovely. Okay, so this is some of the things that you'll be working on. These are some of the signs. You might get into sound healing. It could be just music. Your connection with music deepens. There's beauty ritual here. You taking care of yourself. Some of you, yeah, some connection to flowers as well. Like I said before, I was seeing like plants and flowers, so there might be a connection to that. This, when I say beauty ritual, it also means like you taking care of the space that you're living in. You are clutter free. You want to make it look like you might be into feng shui and that sort of thing when you come into contact with your future spouse. And then finally we have your advice card, and your advice card is intimacy. So this could be advice right now, or within your connection. You take it as it resonates to your situation. Oh, by the way, I was getting a message here when I was looking at this card. There is something about you taking care of your what is it? Okay, I think something about yoga or something of you, like your sacral chakra, something about some like sexual healing or something along those lines. Yeah, I don't know what I meant by sexual healing at this time, but something about you working on your sacral and root chakra is coming out from this card. So let's read the message from this intimacy card, because it will explain the meaning much better than I do. Number 35. Okay. The message of this oracle is that you have recently opened yourself up in new ways to meet the world and your loved ones, or are considering doing so in order to share something of yourself with another. Do it. You are ready to be seen and received more than ever before. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. So you might be in this energy when you meet your future spouse, and that is why they're going to be so drawn and attracted to you, because it's contagious. Like they want to be around you. Oh gosh. All right, that was amazing. Pile number 3. I love that energy. So I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope it resonated. Please let me know in the comment section below if you're already feeling this way. That would be awesome to hear. Like I said before, hang on tight for more episodes to come. I'm not sure which one it will be, but I am sort of going with the flow with this series. So until I catch you in another reading, stay safe and bye!